Hello, I'm Liz.
And I'm Mr. J.
Welcome to Byther Farm. We've got no idea yet again what we're doing today.
As a common theme, you may have noticed that we have this recurring theme of not knowing what's going on.
Except I'm going to sneeze any second now. I'm sorry. I'll flare my nostrils.
She's gone all Kenneth Williams on us now. No!
So it's been a good day today, actually, hasn't it?
Yeah, we got a bit done.
You went to the shop?
Oh, well, yes, I went to the shop.
I got quite a lot done
outside.
Last
week's wages gone.
Yeah. We don't do it that often, though. We don't do a big splurge very often,
This
do
is
we?
very true.
So you did the shopping, and I've tackled quite a lot outside today. I've changed the lunar landscape, which is the what we're calling the orchard, where the wood chips are tipped, and I've shifted quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's flattened it out a bit, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. It's not quite as rocky and curvaceous as it was before.
Curvaceous is a good word. So I've created some pathways. I've filled a bed that's not going to be used this year, so that will just give it time to rot down over the next year or so. And I've started covering some more of the pathways in the annual vegetable garden.
That sounds like quite a lot, actually.
It is. Oh, and I made a new raised bed.
Oh, that is quite a lot then. And you refilled the duck pond.
Yes, the duck pond had gone. Somebody asked me the other day about how often we have to empty the duck pond, and I said, well, we don't, because there's a leak in the duck pond, so it just drains all the time. And
and then you decided to plug that gap.
Yeah, so I realised where the hole was, and I put a bucket full of water on top of it, and that seemed to have stopped it. But in the last 2 days, it has grown a green
film of algae.
Yeah, and it was thick and it was luminous and it was very disgusting. So I've put the hose back into the pond and let it completely wash through and wash all of that away. And the ducks are happy.
You could actually have just taken the plug out.
Well, I did think about that. And then I thought that would make all the green slime sit on the base.
Yeah, but then you could have just sprayed it out.
That was way too logical. I've let it all wash through. So the ducks have had a good swim and a good wash, and they're very happy now, aren't they?
Yeah, and probably tomorrow the little ducks will get moved at long last into their next stage of accommodation as they get prepared for adult life.
Yeah.
That'll be into the duckling run,
yep.
Where the ducks will be able to see them, so they'll be able to be introduced to what are in fact their parents, although they probably don't realise that. I don't know what ducks realise and what ducks don't.
It's not like we can ask them.
Well, we can.
Well, they're not going to answer.
They might. We just wouldn't understand it.
Well, that's true.
We need a Dr. Dolittle. Where's Dr. Dolittle when you need him?
Birmingham.
Birmingham? All right, mate. I can handle that. So where was I? Oh yes, so they're going to move into the duck run, and they'll spend about 4 weeks there, I guess.
No, maybe a bit more even. See how they grow
and see how they assimilate with the other ducks, and then at some point they will get flock merge.
That sounds like a dreadful illness.
Or possibly the merger of two conglomerates.
Well,
I'm not making. There's no reference to anything that's happening in the news at the moment.
Yes, so the ducklings will move. And then the other thing that was happening today is that the eggs are due to hatch. Were due to hatch.
If they'd been in the incubator, they should have been due to hatch.
I thought they were due to hatch. All of those. They haven't started as far as I can tell. The only thing I have done today is I spotted the Australorp who's out in the field, in a house out in the field, had failed to sit on 2 of the eggs, and one of them was lukewarm and the other one was quite cold. So I've picked them up, I've brought them in, and we've got them in the incubator, which you can probably just hear it humming away, in the hope that they haven't died in the shell, which they may have done. But if they haven't and they start pipping, I'll go and pop them under the Broody Girls out by the piggeries, where there are 2 girls in the house, and at the moment they've only got 4 eggs each, or very possibly one of them's got 7 and the other one's got 1, because one of those girls was really keen to have all the
eggs. Mine. You think she was a cat?
Well, she was a bit like that. It was very sweet. When I put them in there, she just very carefully sort of scoops them under herself, and every time I gave one to the second bird in there, she'd just scoop it to under herself. So, but they've got 8 eggs between the 2 of them, so they could probably do with a couple more without that being too much of an issue.
Yeah, so it's just a question of moving the eggs very quickly and carefully if one of the other broodies decides that they don't want them anymore. And it's a bit of an experiment, really, isn't it? We have had one. Is it one?
One.
Yeah, we have had one broody hatch before, which went okay, but we had to rescue the chicks quite quickly, as I recall.
Oh no, actually we've had 3 now I think about it, but only one successful one. We had a cream leg bar who raised 1 little chick, and as soon as that one had hatched, she stopped sitting on the other eggs, completely ignored them. So we brought them inside, and I think we
saved most of them. It all seems so long ago, and I haven't got your notification booklets to tell me what we did.
It was
a couple of years, man.
Yeah, probably a couple of years. Yeah, it must have been nearly 2 years ago. And then last year we let Mrs. Oz and Dieselette. Dieselette's still with us, Mrs. Oz isn't. We let both of them sit on some eggs, and they were outstanding failures as mothers. Both of them rejected their chicks, so they were adamant about sitting on the eggs.
But that's as far as it went.
Yeah, as soon as they hatched, they weren't interested at all.
Talk about surrogate mothers.
Yeah, they were not. They were not. They were terrible, actually. So we didn't try again last year, but this year.
Well, we had so many girls go broody, and you can't really break the brood. So when they have gone broody, we've tried to break the broodiness by putting them in a isolation or one of the other various tricks that people employ, not including putting their feet in the oven. And the ones that have remained,
people do that
apparently. And the ones that have remained broody are the ones that have now got eggs. I mean, there have been some that went, yes, I'm broody. I'm not broody anymore. Get me out of here. And those ones have been left to go put back in the flocks and then pretend to be broody again. I think it's just laziness. I think they just don't, they don't want anyone to disturb them. They just want to sort of,
sit around,
drinking tea, watching television.
Oh, good idea. Definitely drinking tea.
Oh, we had a little trip out this morning, didn't we? I took Liz down to the local surgery to get stabbed.
Yeah, so they did my bloods this morning, which is what I said I'd do. It's just taken this long. So it's about 3 weeks or something to get the appointment to have my bloods done. So yeah, they're going to just test for
everything,
and not actually everything. So they'll check my thyroxine levels, iron, and all my vitamins, and T4 and T3. And was that your stomach rumbling?
No, it's thunder in the distance.
I don't think it was. Anyway, they're going to test for loads of things. He's not hungry. His stomach is rumbling, but it's not because he's hungry. It's because his stomach is appreciating our supper.
Yeah, we had a very, very good one tonight.
Fabulous. So it was chicken, the meat from chicken legs, which I'd shredded, a whole load of purple sprouting broccoli from the garden. So it had been in the garden about 5, maybe 10 minutes before we ate it. What else was there?
Beetroot.
Oh yes, beetroot. So that's last year's beetroot, which I parboiled, cooled, and then froze in pieces.
Oh, but we didn't eat it frozen; it was cooked.
Yeah. So all I need to do is defrost it and then either boil it or roast it, and that's what I did this time. Is I roasted it, and then we also had roast potatoes, which I had parboiled in chicken stock with some garlic in it.
So apologies for the garlic smell, but we've had quite a lot of garlic tonight. Good job this isn't smell-o-vision, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah. You wouldn't want to be near me because I ate all those pieces of garlic. Oh, but you tolerate my garlicness. So it was a really good supper.
It was very nice indeed.
And now we're in that sort of post-supper. Oh, well, yeah, we're in post-supper cup of tea, piece of chocolate. And it's a good place to be in, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it here.
In that slightly silly space. So our plans for this evening are...
Well, we've got all the usual evening chores. We've got various animals to put to bed and shut up and sing songs to and read stories to and stuff. Done a little bit of television, I think, perhaps.
Yep. Are you doing a
and
radio
then
show?
I've got some radio shows to record.
I'll have some editing to do.
And
Quite a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, I've also got
Even more editing to do.
And I've got some radio shows to record and mix and so forth, and various people to assist with some technical issues that they have.
Yeah.
So yeah, a fairly normal Monday evening for us after my partying shenanigans over the weekend. That was a really good night, and hello to the band if you're watching. See you soon.
So yeah, it was nice for you to go out. I was going to go, and then I realised that actually I wasn't going to cope with the travelling. That sounds silly, isn't it? It was just going to make me really tired.
Yeah, and falling asleep during a gig isn't much fun.
No, it's embarrassing. I've done it before and
Yeah,
snored really loudly. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. People thought it was a sound effect.
It really wasn't.
Yes, it was winter, it was dark, it was very, very, very warm.
Yeah, and it was quite a small room, and it was very dark,
And it was very full.
and the seats were really padded.
And it was just actually about the time you were beginning to go down, wasn't it, with the various health shenanigans that we didn't know what they were yet.
And I just put my head on Mr. J's shoulder, and I was gone. I was sound asleep.
The trouble is, this is an acoustic. It was an acoustic performance, so it was fairly quiet, except for the ear-splitting snore, which I think it was my left ear. I think you're on the left-hand side of me.
So yeah, and we don't recommend that. We don't recommend falling asleep at a gig where people have paid, a decent amount of money to go and see one of their favourite artists perform. Because A, it's embarrassing, and B, it ruins the enjoyment for everybody else. So I stayed at home.
Now the band would have loved to have met you.
Well, they will meet me.
Yeah,
at some
absolutely.
Point. So I stayed here. Well, you went to.
You
went to a foreign country?
I went to Freya. I had my first trip out of Wales this year. Trip up into England. And yeah, I met 3 bands for the price of 1.
Yeah. Good, huh?
Yeah. And so that's a flavour of our Monday, which has been quite heavily flavoured with garlic on this Valpurgis night. And although there aren't vast quantities of video showing exactly what we've been doing today, it's not been an idle and indolent day. It's been quite productive.
Okay, now for the benefit of those of us who didn't know those 2 words, would you like to translate?
Idle?
And once again, I've got to apologise because we have managed to not do any filming during the day until the sun starts going down, which means the light in here is
Dimming
and pretty atrocious. So if we're looking a bit murky, that's probably the best light to see us in, actually.
Not quite. Complete blackout is probably the best light. I was speaking for myself. Liz, however, is promising that she's going to film lots of exciting things tomorrow, weather dependent.
Am I? Have we got exciting things tomorrow? Have we got exciting things happening tomorrow?
You're going to film little ducks swimming.
I can film little ducks swimming. Hopefully we can spot a chick in a nest, and if not, there will be a lot of questions about how could I have got it so wrong? How have we got the dates wrong? All of those things. No, between the 4 hens, we're bound to have.
We should have a chick by the end of tomorrow.
That would be good. That would make me very, very happy.
And hopefully it would make them quite happy too.
Yes. Yeah. Hopefully there's 4 chicks, 1 for each. A minimum of 4, 1 for each, because I don't think I can cope with them being broody for however long now.
What I'm a bit worried about, of course, is that the others will start going broody because they'll see, they've had babies, we want them to.
Yes. Well, there is always that, but hey-ho. So as the light's going, it's time that Mr. J and I went and gathered birds into suitable housing.
I can see the ducks beginning to gather themselves by the house. They're getting very good, actually. They don't go to bed until I go and say goodnight to them. But they very often gather by the house, and sometimes they almost tell me off for being later than they want to go to bed, but you haven't been here yet.
So we are going to go into the evening chores, find a fresh cup of tea and coffee, and put our feet up.
And so, wherever you are in the world, and whatever you've got planned for today, hope it's a good one.
And I also hope you can join me tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.